Let me make sure I'm recording with the right microphone. Looks like I am. My name is Dr. AJ Kumar, PhD. This is video 3 in the Flappy Bird playlist. I'm going to try to just power through this whole thing in several videos. Never mind. Let's look at observer again. Observer, :start. Go away. Okay. So I want to look at the second most complex process, and we're going to go up in complexity. So probably the base was the second most. Last time we went through the base. So this time we're going to go through the ticks, and I kind of looked at this before, but let's just go over this. So let's see. For doing ticks, assumes you're calling this from a gen server and it can receive a cast, which is just talk. Okay. Module FB ticks. Okay. Behavior gen server. Right. It exports set reply after milliseconds tick. Then the standard gen server callback, start link, init, handle call, handle cast, handle info, and terminate. And then the locker. Right. We talked about this, which is the state record, and all it keeps track of is how long it should take to send back the talk. So this first one is set reply. So this is the API. This is what a process that's using this will call. And there's only three functions in the API, which is to set how long the tick is, and then to send a tick. So tick. If you just send a tick, it sends tick, reply with talk. Tick, reply to self equals self. Now, it's important to note this is executed in this code will be executed in the context of another caller. So if I'm calling you, this is code that executes on my cell phone, not yours. This is code maybe that your cell phone tells my cell phone to execute. Maybe that's a way to think about it. Okay, and then tick. Okay, startup. These are pretty standard startups. Start link is gen server start link. The init is empty state record, returns OK state. Handle call. We don't have any calls. Handle cast. So there's two possible casts, which is set reply after milliseconds, which just changes the state and says, okay, thank you. Handle cast tick. It says, who do I reply to? What do I reply with? And then matches on the state. So this is still matching reply after milliseconds. Okay. Do tick, reply to, reply after milliseconds, reply with. Doesn't send a reply. Okay, and then unexpected cast logs it and doesn't send a reply. Handle info just logs it. Terminate just logs it, I guess. Okay, internal, do tick. Okay, this is literally the only internal. So debugging, I guess that was there for debugging. Let's see. Do tick. I don't know why it matches. Anyway, reply to, reply after milliseconds, reply with. Timer sleep for however long we're supposed to sleep, reply after milliseconds. Gen server cast, reply to, reply with. So reply to whomever we're supposed to reply to with whatever we're supposed to reply. That's it. All right. What's the next process? Second, the pipes. That's probably the next most complicated one. All right. Okay. So 3 pairs of pipes, equidistant, heights randomly set. Module FB pipes. Behavior gen server. Pipe core. What does it export? Pipe chords, bounding boxes, play, game over, and reset. So we saw that in the last video. And then the standard gen server callbacks. And then it exports a type, which is pipe chord 0. Includes that header file. Again, you should not be doing this define stuff. You should put these in functions. Don't put these in macros, but oh well. Pipe tick milliseconds. So our pipe tick milliseconds are the same as the environment ticks. So environment ticks governs how fast this base is moving, and what it's saying is that the base is moving at the same speed as the pipes. That's all that means. So the pipe gap, so this is saying the pipe gap, the gap between two pipes is constant. So maybe if I can get past a couple of pipes, you can see that. This is the horizontal gap. And then the gap, oh, oops. Let me just do CX. Let's go back here. Okay. And then I think also the gaps, the vertical gap between the top and bottom of the pipe, that is also constant. That's what this means. Pipe width, so this is the pixel width of the pipe, and the pipe height, which is the height of the sprite. Now, it actually just draws the whole sprite. It might draw it off the screen, and then it draws the base on top of it. So that's the way that works. Pipe height, screen width, so that's how wide the screen is. And then when it's resetting the pipe, it actually draws all three pipes, and it draws the third pipe off the screen. So only two are visible at the same time. And I think I just set these by experimentation. Right. Parameters for randomly generating pipe height. So it has a lower bound and a random range. That's the way it works. Yeah. So what it does is it uses the lower bound. So pipe 1. I think what it does, well, rand range is bigger than lower bound. So, we'll have to see how that works. Okay, let's look at the state record. So it has a ticker, the pairs of pipes, which is a list of pairs. Status by default is init, which is status. Status, remember, this type was defined in our header file. Pair chord refers to the top left point of the lower pipe. Okay, so let's look. Yeah, top left chord of the lower pipe. Okay. Pair, x is an integer, y is an integer. Score inked, what does that mean? Score incremented. Oh, you know what that is? So, right, so the way it implements the score, this is a hack, and that's not good. But the way it implements a score is it literally just detects, I think, does it detect when you get in the middle? No, it detects, I think it detects, yeah, when you're all the way through the pipe. So it knows that the horizontal coordinate of the bird is fixed, and as soon as the pipe gets past there, it says, okay, increment the score. Ooh, I don't know. I don't know how that works. We're going to see. Okay, and so a pair, where's our pair? I guess a pair is just the x and y coordinate. That's interesting. Chord, where is it? Right, type pipe chord. Chord is just two integers. Is there another? Huh. We'll have to see how this works. This might be like code that, I don't know. We'll see. All right. Spec. So pair, it just stores x and y. Are these just not used at all? Oh, you know what? These might be used when exporting to the collision detector, or to when it draws on the screen. Okay, that might be it. Okay, we'll have to see. So internally, all it cares about is, within this process, all it cares about is where the pipe is and I don't know whether the score has been incremented. I don't know. We'll see what that means. Okay, so this is for getting the pipe chords. It just sends the, this is a call, mind you, so that's like a phone call where it blocks on the receiver. So I'm calling you, I have to wait until you pick up the phone and send me something back or decline the call. Okay. There's no option to decline the call here, but you get the analogy. It's like a phone call where you can't do anything else until I respond. Okay. Bounding boxes, it just sends the calls with bounding boxes. Play, what does play do? Yeah, it just sends play, game over, sends game over, reset, sends reset. Okay, startup, this is very standard. With a init, it starts up the ticker, sets the reply after to what it's supposed to be, sends a tick. Make the initial pairs. What are our initial pairs? Ah, init pairs. Where is that? Okay, yeah, maybe factored out into no, they shouldn't be factored out into macros. That's stupid. So pair 300 rand y 500. Okay, so it sets the okay. Okay. Quit. Okay, and here are our calls. So handle the call chords. Sends it to do chords, and then replies with what the coordinates are and the state. Handle call bounding boxes, gets the bounding boxes and replies. Unexpected, no reply. So what this is like I call you and you don't have voicemail set up, and so it just rings and rings and rings and rings forever and nobody ever picks up the phone. And so eventually you die, basically. That's what will happen. If you call me and I don't ever pick up the phone, you're sitting there waiting until you die before I pick up the phone. Or you hang up, something like that. If you call me and it's a number that, okay, this analogy, you know what, this isn't a terrible analogy, right? You call me and you're not in my contact list. I wonder if that's a feature I can set up on my phone. Like if you call me and you're not in my contacts list, it just keeps ringing. It doesn't show up anything for me, but it just keeps ringing forever and you can't leave me a voicemail. That would be great. I get so many stupid spam calls. That is a much better way to handle spam. Right, it just instead of, it just rings and rings and rings and rings forever. Right, they don't get to leave me a voicemail and then get to move on to someone else. It would just ring forever and never pick up. But does that... Spam calls are just such a big problem. Anyway, I think the FCC like changed some rules and stopped punishing people or something. I don't know. Anyway, handle cast, reset. Reset resets the state, so the only thing it keeps from the old state is the ticker, and that's it. Okay. So I guess it resets the pipe pairs. Okay. Game over just sets the status to game over. Right. Okay. So this doesn't change. Okay. Right. This just changes the status. It doesn't need to like generate new pipes. Okay. Right. So here. So well, it's in a init. The pipes are off the screen and they're not moving. And then as soon as I hit spacebar, the pipes show up. And then when we hit game over, which is when we crash, it sets status to game over. It doesn't need to reset the pipes, but when I hit reset, then it resets the state of the pipes. Okay. And then play sets the status into play. No, you shouldn't move this into a new function. It's very clear. Past AJ, you did the right thing here. handle cast talk. Okay, then talk is really the complicated thing because, okay, handle info, not doing anything. Okay, chords, it sends this to pair chord. Okay, pair chords. So if I send it an empty list as well, that indicates it's some sort of fold, and it takes the state and returns a list of pipe coordinates. Okay, and then how does this work up above? Do chords. So it gets the chords and replies with them. Okay. Pair chords. Yeah, so if we're out of pairs, return the accumulator. Otherwise, right, new chords equals chords of pair, pair. New accum equals new chords plus. Ah, okay, so this chords of pair, I bet this is going to return a list. Right, this returns lower chord, upper chord. This plus plus thing, maybe there's probably a better way to do that, but this is good enough. Right, so it returns a lower pipe and an upper pipe. Right, so lower pipe, upper pipe, and then it'll send the caller a flat list of pipes. So it says here's a lower pipe, here's an upper pipe, here's a lower pipe, here's an upper pipe. Right, okay. Right, and remember that this XY, right, okay. Okay. If the pipes are out of frame, don't show them. XY is the top left chord of the lower pipe. So when X is less than minus the pipe width, right? So X will be less than minus the pipe width when the pipe is out of frame, in which case don't return the coordinates for that pipe. Okay. Or if the pipe is off the screen, right, okay. Maybe 0 minus pipe W would be a little bit clearer, but that's good enough. Chords of pair. Okay, the lower chord is just XY because that's the top left coordinate of the lower pipe. Upper Y is equal to Y, right, minus the pipe gap. So remember the coordinates are from the top down, so it's the opposite of what you're used to in math, or what I'm used to in math. It's this inverted, or the orientation. This has negative orientation. If you watched my abstract algebra videos, this has, if you curl your fingers in the direction of positive rotation in this reference frame, then your thumb would point into the monitor, which is wrong. Whoever wrote that, whoever came up with that is not a mathematician. That's evil. But I mean, it makes sense in this context. It's just, it's wrong. It doesn't matter if it makes sense if I don't like it. Actually, anyway. Y minus pipe gap, Y minus pipe H, so let's, right. So Y is the top left coordinate, pipe gap moves it up here, and then remember that it's the top left coordinate, we're getting the top left coordinate of the upper pipe, so we also have to subtract the height of the pipe, okay. The height of the pipe sprite is constant. The upper coordinate is upper X, upper Y. Result is lower chord and upper chord. Return the result. Okay, that makes sense. Bounding boxes. Oh boy. Lists colon flatten. Do bounding boxes of pair where pair comes from pairs. Okay. Ooh, okay. Do bounding boxes of pair. Okay. XY is the top left coordinate of the lower pipe, remember. Okay, the lower bounding box for X, so this is X is greater than or equal to this and less than or equal to this. So it's the top left coordinate of the pipe, so from here to here. So it's the X coordinate plus the width, Y, which is the Y coordinate plus the height, that's for the lower pipe. and it returns, right, the lower bounding box. There we are. Right, a bounding box, if I think, let's see our bounding box. Let's see, what is that? Ooh, what does this return? So pipe chord, remember that's pipe type chord, and that was what this is returning, this chords of pair thing. It's upper, comma, the pipe coordinate. Okay, and then bounding box. What does this return? Oh, it doesn't say. Bounding boxes. Okay. I guess it's just the bounding box for, it's a pair, the bounding box for X and the bounding box for Y. That should have a type spec. Oh well. Okay. So this is upper top left of X is equal to X, Y. Ah, because they're aligned vertically, so the X coordinate for this is the same as for the top and the bottom are the same. Okay. Y, right, Y minus pipe gap Y minus pipe H. That gets us up there. Upper bounding box for X, it's the same as for the lower bounding box. Right, for Y, it's exactly the same. Upper TLY plus pipe height, upper bounding box, right? Return lower and upper bounding boxes, and then flatten that whole. Okay, that makes sense. So it's basically returning a list of bounding boxes which says if any part of the bird happens to be within that bounding box, then we have a collision. Now, collision detection is, yeah, okay, that makes sense. Talk. Okay, only move the pipes if we're playing. Do talk. How long is this? We're 72% of the way through. Okay. Do talk. State. Status equals play. Ticks equals ticks. Pairs equals pipes. Send back a tick. Move the pairs. Okay, move pairs. And then, right, it gives me new pipes. Pairs, new pipes. Okay, new state. Not playing. Right, if our status is not play, keep the ticker going. Alright, that makes sense. Move pairs. Move pairs with an empty list, so this is going to be some sort of fold or recursion. Okay, if we're out of pairs, return the accumulator. If we have a new pair, remember a pair, this makes sense now. This is why the pair is just an X and Y coordinate. Okay. New accum equals move pair up to accum. Move pairs rest new accum. Okay. Move pair. This is probably like the bread and butter of the program. Okay. Let's close. If we're out of frame, move to reset position. Okay. Move pair X equals X when X is right. If we're out of frame, so that's X is less than minus the pipe width. So completely out of frame. X is equal to pipe reset X. Y is equal to random, and score incremented equals false. Okay. There's an intermediate stage where we've passed the bird. We want to increment the score, but only do it once. If we haven't incremented the score, are the pipes responsible for keeping track of the score? That doesn't make sense. We'll have to read the controller to see how that works. I don't remember how that works. If we haven't incremented the score, just do... Okay, Jesus Christ. There's an intermediate stage where we've passed the bird. We want to increment the score, but only do it once. This is some hacky nonsense. All right. If we haven't incremented the score, just do it once. Let me make sure I'm recording with the right microphone. I am, and I am recording. That's good. We haven't incremented the score, just do it once. Don't update the state any other way. Wait until, okay, so this is like a fail-safe. This is all we're doing. Okay, and that clears up the error. Move pair. Pair, X equals X. Why are we matching on X equals X? We're not using that. Ah, okay. Score inked equals false. Right. So when we're completely past the bird, so the bird's x-coordinate minus the pipe width. So, right, the bird's x-coordinate is the top left of the bird. Okay, so right here, once we get past, once the pipe is completely past the bird, then increment the score. So it just says fbcon, which is the controller, inc score incremented equals true. Okay. That's hacky, but that works. Otherwise, move by environment velocity. Okay. Right, and so it works on... Right, okay, so this works on an individual pair of pipes. And it does this one. Okay. I can see how this works, but it's kind of confusing. Okay, that makes sense. Right, so this matches... So that's interesting. Okay. So, let me just try to articulate this. If we get past the bird, if the pipe gets past the bird, let me try again, and I'm going to see if I can get past the bird. Okay, if we get past the bird, there's actually going to be, like, if you watch, a momentary hiccup where the leftmost pipe doesn't move because it's waiting for the next tick. Let's see if we can... It's probably so subtle that you can't see it. Anyway, that's interesting. Right, okay. So, if we're past the bird, set some flag, increment the score. Right, okay. Right. So we're matching on the case where we have not incremented the score yet, and the bird is less... And the bird is, or the pipe is to the left of the bird. We've completely passed the bird. Only in that case do we increment the score, and then we mark, yes, we incremented the score, don't do it again. Okay. Otherwise, keep moving, and then this is the case where it matches, okay, you're off the screen. Right, okay. And then this is the init pairs thing that we saw before. These should be, no, they should not be factored into macros. Rand Y, okay. Offset, rand uniform, pipe Y, rand range, pipe Y, lower bound. Ah, because it counts from the top, so it sets a lower bound for this, for the Y coordinate of the lower pipe, and then has a range that it randomly distributes between it uniformly. And, okay, that makes sense. And then it just randomly picks from that range. Okay, and then lower bound plus offset. That makes sense. Okay, pair. Where is this called? I think it's only called in init pairs. Right, so maybe this should be MK pair, but... Okay, that makes sense. Okay. All right, that's the end. Okay, that's good for a single video. Got through most of this. What will I do in the next video? So we got through the ticks. So all of these ticker processes. Got through the pipes. We've gotten through the base. We still need to look at the bird and the controller. The GUI is going to be a nightmare. Just because that's, I mean, GUI code is always hellacious. Okay, but this should... The bird is going to be interesting because it has two different timers. I don't know, we'll see. Whatever I want to do in the next video. That was a good video. I need a break. Thanks for watching. I will see you in the next video. Bye. Founder loves you.